know, Elliot.
You know, Drew.
This is the second episode of Taps and Takes from Grogg's Traditional Irish Pub, baby.
Hey.
We got the nerd news. We got the sports news. And you know that I like to do a big ol' good morning whenever we do these, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer a challenge to our listeners and fans. A lot of people are asking for merch. They're like, where's the merch? Where's the merch?
Where's the merch?
So I tell you what, I'm going to do my good morning, which I do in various appreciation kind of parodies of other, iconic music or intros like go 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 good morning, like Conan O'Brien, right? The Conan O'Brien intro. If the first person to come to us and tell me what I am parodying in this good morning I'm about to do, you'll get the very first shirt that we print.
That's a challenge.
The very first shirt that we print will be yours if the first person can tell me what I'm parodying. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
What if it's an extra small?
I'll make sure that we get it properly fitted for them.
No, they get adult schmedium and that's it. That's the only size we're doing.
All
All
right.
right. Tummy showing.
Here we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Do you know?
I have an idea.
All
I'm
right.
not going to say it.
I'm going to bleep it and I'm going to cover my mouth so no one can check it out. This is a challenge. It's a real challenge. First shirt of the Do Over podcast ever printed is going directly to whoever can tell me what it is. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Now, good morning.
What's up?
It is time to get up and get going. It's a big old Friday, baby. Elliot,
What?
you rocking that Guinness? Why
What,
don't you take a nice little
This Guinness?
Take a little sip.
This Guinness
A
right
breakfast beer
Mm.
goes a long way.
here? Cheers.
Oh yeah,
Get
split that G.
foamy stash too. Look at that.
You split the G? Nah,
Dad, I just got the top G.
it's all right. We got Elliot Jams right there.
Got a little Andrew Tate on that. I got top G.
We got Elliot Jams right there. We got Fast Eddie Edward Rouse.
Yo.
Rantsnetwork.com has
right.
anything and everything you guys want when it comes to entertainment and sports. And
Like
that's
us.
That's kind of what we do on Fridays. My
That's
name
right.
is Drew Height. We talk about all the nerd news, talk about all the sports news of this last week, and we're going to get right into it because there's a lot of big stuff to talk about. X-Men news, Superman kind of controversies. I'm already so sick of that. And also the Super Bowls.
The Super Bowls.
Big
yes.
bowels.
The Super Bowls are
Huge
about to go
bowels.
down. So we're going to
And
have
the
to talk
matchup
about
is
that.
poopy.
And it's poopy. We'll get into that. But I also want to thank Groggs for housing us, allow us to do taps and takes. Because a lot of people listen on Friday and love this stuff, and they're allowing us to do this. The northeast corner of Willow and Knees. You know where to go get some Guinness? You want some JMO? You want that
Yeah,
good
look
stuff?
at that beautiful bar. I mean, look
I
at
know.
all the taps.
It's
they
fantastic.
have,
Gorgeous
everything.
bar.
Oh.
Beautiful bar, and you need to come in and support the people that support the do-over. Now, let's get right into it. Let's go to the nerd news, Elliot.
All right.
Let's
go.
get nerdy.
What are we
Go
looking at?
Right on in. You know what came out today
What?
is the newest animated series on Disney Plus for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. And it's already been renewed for season 2 and 3.
Nice.
So,
They did something similar with X-Men 97,
Mhm.
but here's the thing. X-Men 97 was way better than I ever thought it could
Yeah.
be. Like what they did with X-Men 97. Now, like here's my concern. Bo DeMaio very publicly got fired.
Yep.
There were some issues there. But he was the main creative force behind X-Men 97, and it was like an elevated version of the original X-Men cartoon, right? And it was so good.
It hit
It
you
was awesome.
emotionally. It hit you so emotionally.
I
Oh.
cried multiple times.
I cried. I laughed.
Yeah.
mhm.
You're just going like this. Oh, like when
Yeah.
you're watching it, like what they did with X-Men 97 was crazy good. So I've seen the kind of clips of the Spider-Man.
Yeah, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the newest series coming out today.
I'm not a huge fan of the animation style.
I am not either,
Yeah.
but it's not fair to judge it based on animation
No.
alone.
No.
So I'm going to
Mhm.
give it the try. Plus, anything Spider-Man is typically taken with care. Usually.
Yeah.
So,
well, on the Marvel end of things, maybe.
yeah. No, Spider-Man's had some great animated shows.
Well, yeah, because I think the animated shows are Marvel productions, right? Like the TV animated programs, I think Marvel owns the rights to those. So that's why they are good.
Yeah.
The Sony kind of slop in the Spider-Man.
We don't need to talk about Sony.
Well, I'm just saying, trying to milk it for all it's worth, with the exception of the Marvel produced movies and or Spider-Verse.
Do we have more Spider-Man than anything? Is it the most done between shows and movies?
I'd say Batman, maybe.
I think Spider-Man's more.
Batman's close because remember they had all those spin-off shows. They had like Gotham, like Batman shows without Batman.
You're right.
Well, they got like 50 different animated shows of Batman.
Right.
Plus
and
you
now
got all the
Penguin
movies
without Batman.
But Penguin's also good.
It's good. Yeah.
See, and that's
Penguin's fantastic.
You'll have shows that are kind of like, right? But then you get like someone that takes what it can be to a different level, and you're like, oh. So, and I think it really just boils down to whoever's going to like do really good with the property. And this could be great, right?
Yeah.
Like the Spider-Mans could be awesome. I'm just not sold on the way it looks. It does not look like it's made for me.
It looks janky.
You know,
it look animation wise, it looks janky. And people who were given Invincible flack, they're like, man, I miss Invincible, which season 3 comes out next week. So
I haven't even finished season 2. I was like, for me,
are they dropping it all at once this time? Or are they doing a?
They'll probably do the first 2 or 3 episodes and then weekly. Which,
but there's not a huge gap in between.
No, it's all one course.
Okay,
which,
not like a 4-month gap in the middle of it. So what else we got?
All right, well, we got the Donster, the trumpet himself. He's talking about how Microsoft could be in talks to buy the Tick of Talks. Now, he did push it back to where TikTok hasn't been banned. It was banned for like 8-10 hours.
He did like a stay.
Yeah,
so it's a 90-day stay if I remember
it's not going to go anywhere at this point now.
So, but he's all in for an American company buying TikTok. And so they're saying, Microsoft, come and buy it. Microsoft hasn't confirmed or denied anything yet. They're no comment, which means they're definitely lining something up.
Microsoft's been on a big acquisition tour for the past few years now, especially the games division, just buying up studios and stuff like that. I could see them doing that. The question is if Microsoft buys it, do they incentivize their creators more? Because the payoff for creators on TikTok is so measly. It is so measly when it comes to any type of ad revenue or anything like that. It's crap.
YouTube's way better.
YouTube is leagues ahead
Google,
of what they can possibly do through AdSense and stuff like that. I think that if Microsoft does buy it, they need to incentivize people to be creators, to actually put effort to get creating on TikTok. And because people usually use TikTok just as exposure for other things. Like, it's for your Instagram exposure or your YouTube exposure.
80% of it is somebody stealing another video and just putting their caption over the top of it.
Buddy, I
mean, that's with any social media too, but
I bitched about this like a couple episodes ago on the main podcast, which episode 4 of the Do Over podcast just got booted. It's live now. Go and check that out. I talked about that it's low effort. It's like
little effort.
It's little. It's a lot of people just doing this shit where they're like that angle where they're like, oh, look at this, like fake laughing.
My favorite is the people in their own car, like, I just got out of the grocery store and this guy looked at my boob and I felt so violated. She's wearing a low V cut.
The lowest V cut.
Like,
look, and like when it comes to those situations, it's kind of like, all right, look, if you wear a shirt like that, you're putting them on display. And if people are staring, they're admiring how beautiful they are.
Yeah, but it hit her so hard and she had to go on TikTok and tell the world.
No, I will say, though, my favorite thing is the people that call out the people who set up like the come wake up with me.
Yeah.
But then they'll do like the wake up, set up the camera, get the lighting right.
Get it all ready.
And they're like, wake up with me. Those are all, I always appreciate that. A little
just woke up, perfect makeup and hair.
Those are some of my favorite TikToks where like it's a nurse just lost a patient today and she's like crying in the hallway and that's all what they did before filming. And it's them setting up the camera, putting it at
you
the
can
right
see
angle,
the ring light in her glasses. The ring light.
Or I always like the or it's like the they'll show like firefighters doing a dance or doing something that's like the guy in a fire, just like dying. So, I mean, some people have fun with it. But yeah, a lot of the times it can be lazy.
What else we got?
Probably one of the TV shows I'm most excited for coming up in 2025. It's Alien Earth.
Yes.
Alien Earth coming out this summer after the success of Romulus. The same director going to be running it. And
nice.
The first trailer, and it's from a point of view of the xenomorphs as the ship hurtles down to Earth. I can't wait for Alien Earth. Run by FX, so you know it's going to be another banger.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming after the success of Shogun, so FX just stays winning. I can't wait for this show. It's probably
roll lately.
I'm watching it right now. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's probably one of my most anticipated shows of 2025.
Yeah, Alien is so back.
That is a pretty cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like a bunch of xenomorphs going batshit crazy in a spaceship just plummeting to Earth.
And it's because they
That looks tight.
and it's because they went back to the horror aspect of Alien.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the cheesy aspect, which for a decade we've had.
Which there's okay to have some cheese to it. I mean, Alien, Predator, you're going to need a little cheese. But when you really dive into the horror aspect of the xenomorphs, of the Predators.
Yeah, because they're one of the most terrifying creatures ever
yes.
conceived in fiction.
Yes.
Right? I don't care what anyone says. I liked Prometheus.
Prometheus was okay.
Because I like lore. Like
Covenant wasn't that bad either.
It wasn't that bad either. There was
Covenant
logic.
had one of the worst, had the most gruesome deaths in the series.
Covenant had really bad logic issues.
Yes.
That was what messed me up. But
the xenomorph on a plane was sick.
Hey, Captain, come look at these giant eggs and stick your head in it.
And it's all like this.
Okay.
And it's like, whoa.
I better investigate.
I liked Prometheus, and the reason why is because I like lore deep dives.
Me too.
I love that stuff. So Prometheus was kind of explaining the history of how this came to be, and I'm like, I'm kind of into it.
Did you ever watch Romulus?
No, I haven't watched
it. So good.
I was going to start it the other day. It's
one of the most terrifying movie creatures I've seen in a long time. I don't want to spoil it. I can't spoil it, but man, Alien, so bad.
Me getting time to watch that with the girls running around can be difficult because the girls are very sensitive to kind of scary imagery like that. They just don't like it.
The last 15 minutes I was just watching, and I don't know what I was watching, but my mouth was wide open.
Yeah, you're just like,
that good, huh?
I loved it.
Yeah, well, that's shocking. Let's put it that way.
Really?
That's true. Yeah, it was gruesome.
All right, I'll check it out.
I got. We'll stick with horror on this one because Resident Evil Reboot is officially in the works with the same director from Barbarian, Zach Cregger. You might know him from Barbarian, and also a member of the comedy group The Whitest Kids You Know.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but this is what Resident Evil needed to do the entire time,
which is what?
Focus on the horror survival aspect of it. That's what made the game so fun. That's what's made the remake so great, is when you focus on the horror survival of Resident Evil.
Right.
Not Mila, what's her name? And with double swords. And
she just becomes this incredible badass.
Yeah.
The first one of those movies weren't too bad.
It wasn't the worst.
Then it just got worse.
Then it just got really bad.
Progressively worse, and they jumped 500 zombie sharks. And it's like, all right, we don't need this, guys. Yeah. But what do you got, bud?
Okay, so Robert Eggers, who recently did Nosferatu. I think he did The Lighthouse as well.
Yeah.
God, I got so many problems with that movie.
Didn't he do The Witch? I think he did The Witch,
yes, he
too.
He did.
Can you look that up? The Witch, but it's W-Y-T-H, right?
He did Lighthouse. He did The Witch.
Yeah.
He did Nosferatu, and he did The Northman.
Lighthouse was great.
Now,
Northman was good, too.
Okay, look. He's a good director for sure.
Yes.
And some of the techniques that he brings to the table to get some of his shots is also incredible. Like in The Witch, it was paramount that there's no lighting. He used candles to light scenes. Now to understand cameras a little bit, that would be infinitely difficult to shoot on film because he was shooting on film with only natural light and only candles. There was not a production light anywhere. That is so difficult. So I like how he particularly approaches things, but I also believe that his style is kind of so just weird and ambiguous to be weird and ambiguous.
Very artsy.
It's very artsy and
a little pretentious.
That's my point. I can get down on some art films, man.
Yeah.
I can appreciate indie stuff. I can appreciate these things. Totally can. I feel like there is a level in which it just becomes weird for weird's sake. And I think he's straddling that line. Well, they are set to write, Robert Eggers set to write and direct a Labyrinth sequel.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
No.
I feel like he could crush that.
He could.
He's 4 for 4 in films.
No. Wait.
No. Speak for yourself.
Like, look, when they announced it, I was like, makes sense. It makes sense that he's a hot director right now. He is batting.
That would be his first sequel too, which is a huge thing.
deal.
Yeah.
Well, and also he's about to do a werewolf film too. Like his next
Is he?
project is going to be a werewolf, and
Hopefully better than A24's Wolfman.
it's 1,000% going to be better. I mean, you think about the
Your
Witch.
vlog was better than Wolfman.
So true. Again, at rantsnetwork.com. But I mean, think about when it comes to like the horror aspect of things he's done, like The Witch.
Right.
He brings so much tension and like you just get anxious and there's so much fear without the fear being there per se. He did that with Nosferatu. Granted, it's like you said, an artsy, and I haven't seen it. So
When
I
it
know
ended,
it's
I was just like,
I heard it was
It's
slightly pretentious.
It's atmospheric, right?
yeah.
And he's doing it in the set, and it'll be kind of like that, where it's like 13th century England. So it's going to be a period piece. So there's going to be that grimy,
Dark
Victorian.
dark alley with the wet
But that's
bricks.
well,
that's what I want with my werewolf, man.
The quality of what he does and how he shoots
fantastic.
is great.
The Northman is probably my favorite movie that he's done.
It's
I
good.
love that movie.
It's a good movie. I feel like what's the guy's name? He played Eric on the Northman had the lead
One
was
of the Skarsgårds.
It's one of the Skarsgård,
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård, but it's
Yeah.
not Bill. It's
Alexander's? No. There's so many Skarsgårds out
I think
there.
it's Alexander
Yeah,
Skarsgård.
it's the better looking one, the one that doesn't
It's the
always play the
tall-
weird character.
It's the tall,
with the googly eyes.
pretty guy that was in True Blood.
Yeah.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Alexander, yeah.
So he was in Northman, and that all of his work is beautifully shot.
That-
I'm
yeah,
not
that
going to
movie's
take that
great.
away from him. Like he has some real big skills. When
There
it
was
comes
20
to,
minutes of what's his name, who's in all of his movies, dancing and barking like a dog. That was a little weird, but
You know,
A little.
it was a really weird.
A
Don't
little.
worry about it. Was
Who's
it
the- who's
Willem
the-
Dafoe?
Yeah, William.
Yeah.
I think Dafoe's been in all 4 movies or 3 of them.
He's been in 3.
He
I
wasn't
don't
in The
think
Witch.
he wasn't in The Witch. No.
Lighthouse was great too, by the way. It's a little slow and drawn out, but it's a really good movie.
And that is like a descent into madness kind of a film, and
Yeah.
it does have kind of weird-esque parts to it, but it does you see what's going on.
That'd be my
right?
second favorite movie of
Yeah.
his.
Now let's get into it. I hate that nothing can happen these days without controversy. And
Thank you, social media.
before we get started, I'm going to deal with a controversial topic we talked about last week on Taps and Takes.
Okay.
Mm.
The $100 game. Okay. Felix, shout out Felix, hit me up. And it was like a short about they're considering pricing GTA 6.
GTA 6 could be about $100,
But
right?
the base game is $100. The Premier Edition is $150.
Ooh.
The
What
the-
makes it premiere? I have to know.
Exactly. What? And then the Ultimate Edition is $200.
You got to be kidding me.
I don't know if this is correct or not. It could just be a rumor.
If that's true, that's insanity.
It is
It
insane.
just comes with a poster you can fold out and put on your wall.
It's a giant
Like
sucker.
back in the day.
It's a giant sucker poster.
It's like a used condom and a little gun. that you-
Yeah. Branded.
So, look, I will stand by my stance. I will stand by it that $100 for a game
That's fine.
that's a complete product.
200's ridiculous.
I'm okay with that. If it's a bottom part of a tier and it's like $150, $160, or $200, that's just being predatory.
You know
at
what they
that
do with
point.
those tiers is they just like when you start out, you put in the code and you get like extra guns or extra things.
You'll get
already.
like
You'll get like a
three-
boost.
You'll
or
get
you can
3
change
extra.
the look of your character.
Yeah,
to
you're going to get
something.
3 extra missions that
Yeah.
don't mean
Hold on.
nothing.
If the Premier Edition gives you a bunch of assets for like the online component of the game, because there's
Correct.
a lot of people
Yeah,
that like, and it
The
saves
online
you
will
money.
be huge here.
Oh, it is. It will be for
Yeah.
sure. If it does that and that's something you value, no one's telling you have to buy the most expensive version of
Correct.
the game. That's fine. And AAA game development takes so much money. And I guarantee you, they've been developing this game for 6 to 7 years.
Mhm.
Okay. I guarantee you there are at least $500 million in development cost in it. Like just in it. That's bare minimum, right? Bare minimum cost. So if it's $100 a game, I understand that. And if it's something that you want, support the devs, right? But if they are literally doing $100, $150, and $200 tier, that's fucking crazy.
It's insane.
That's crazy. That sets a really bad precedent, dude.
Especially if I need the higher tiers in order to beat the game. You know what I mean? Like if I like that would
the assets or
correct.
like the resources
Well,
to
and
actually
also-
beat the game.
So
That'd be fucked up.
my biggest concern with it is not so much like Grand Theft Auto games get played for decades. So look at Grand Theft
they're
Auto.
still playing
Yeah,
it
exactly. Right.
now.
And that's fine. That's well worth your money if you're still playing it after a decade of Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
My concern is the following console of games, right? When maybe you don't have a Grand Theft Auto, we can $90 for a game.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
$100
No, I'm
for
with
a
you.
game.
It's going to
Like-
change
like-
that. Yeah.
Cyberpunk now, after like 4 years, 5 years of being out, is just now a great game.
And that's after DLC and reiteration after reiteration after
They
reiteration.
flopped that release really bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're getting games where, maybe it's a Smash Bros, maybe it's one of these big, a Halo comes back and they're like, it's going to be $100 at base. When the
Halo
next,
would be another game I think if complete would be worth $100.
If complete,
Yeah.
Halo's lost a lot of equity with a lot of people though recently. Like with Halo Infinite not hitting as well as they did.
That show was
The show was terrible.
or like Gears of War, the new Gears of War game coming out.
I can't
Like
wait
if
for
they,
that.
I can't either. It's one of my favorite game series.
It's been a
But
long
if they
time.
start hitting you with like, the next game's going to be $100, it's not worth $100.
Gears of War, I think complete is $100 game. Again, it's a big
Again.
franchise. I'm talking Assassin's Creed Mirage. If that came out at $100 and I played that, I would want my money back. Like
Assassin's Creed Shadows, though.
It was
wasn't,
trash.
it wasn't $100.
It wasn't
game.
a complete Assassin's Creed game.
I'm just worried about the next generation of games.
No, you're right. Look, you're not wrong. The thing is, and I think that me and Eddie see eye to eye in this, development costs has shot through the roof in regards to everything, everywhere.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
But specifically in AAA game development has gone up so exponentially that the way that you have to monetize and on the business end of these things is either putting microtransactions to generate more money or sell it for a more expensive price.
Mhm.
I'd rather pay the upfront cost than get nickel and dimed. But if people take this as a baseline, like $100 as a baseline, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But then you can also look at it like this. Nintendo games were $40, $50 in 1991.
It's true.
So like, look at so we just basically settled on
I bought
this
Wave Race 64 for $50.
$50.
Dude, I still
So-
have that game on the instant.
It's a great game.
It's
What-
sick.
what is
Yeah,
that?
it
But
is
what does
sick.
that translate to now? Like $50 back then is like $120 now. Like
Yeah.
if you think about it, like
So
with
really, it
inflation,
hasn't changed that much over time.
it hasn't
Yeah.
changed. So there is, and I really want people, especially when we're talking nerd news, because we're gonna get into stuff in a second. We need to understand that people on the internet love to bitch. That's just what they love to do. And gamers and nerd culture is very fickle in general.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's like you're purposely forgetting that this is a business and has to operate as a business. Some businesses have good operating practices. Others are very predatory or fuck up their products by just shoving a lot of bad business practices into it. But it's still a business. People do not make for free. And people whining and bitching.
Salaries are getting higher for the best developers too.
Well, and I also think you've got to, if it comes from a studio that's done their fans right, I don't think they mind so much. But like Ubisoft, for example, has lost a lot of credibility with its fans,
Yeah.
with their games. Even
True.
what is
Sadly.
it? The Witcher and Cyberpunk's Project Code Red. Is that it?
Yeah. CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red, right? Like they lost a little bit of credibility with Cyberpunk, and they've done
They
everything.
gained it back.
They've done everything they can
See,
to gain
Witcher
it
3
back.
was one of the best games ever made.
Oh, dude, and Witcher 4, I'm so breaking in.
Like
Oh.
that's
Oh,
probably
God, I'm so in
And there you
already.
go. That's going to be a game that'll probably be worth $100.
Yes.
You know, so I get all that. But I
That
mean,
one I may pay $200 for.
But
Not gonna lie.
Rocksteady Rocksteady's doing Grand Theft Auto, I believe. Grand Theft Auto 6.
Rockstar.
Rockstar.
Okay.
Rocksteady is a Ninja Turtle villain. Bebop, Rocksteady.
Well, no, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Rockstar. But they lost a little bit of credibility with the Suicide Squad game.
They
You know?
didn't
I didn't even
develop
play that.
I don't think they developed. Did Rockstar didn't
I
develop?
don't think they did.
Are
the
you
series.
sure?
Did
No,
they do
I'm-
Because they
series?
did
sure.
the Arkham.
No.
They did the Arkham games.
No, they didn't.
Rockstar.
Dude,
I almost said Rocksteady.
I'm pretty sure they.
no, they didn't.
'Cause
No,
they did-
Rockstar did
Because I know.
Who developed the?
Because they
Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, the Grand Theft Autos, and Red Dead Redemptions are great.
Those are
one
worth
of the best.
$100.
Rocksteady did Suicide Squad.
Rocksteady.
I
I said Rockstar.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rockstar. Sorry.
But you were putting you're saying that they're the same company. Rockstar
Yeah.
is different than Rocksteady.
Got it. Okay.
Rocksteady is the ones that did the Arkham games.
You're right.
And
then
they lost a little bit of
they-
equity.
Okay, we'll meet in the middle. We'll meet in the middle.
Okay. All right.
Now-
We're there.
We'll split the G.
Split the
They're
G.
there.
Since we're take a sip of that.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
You're still gonna take a sip of it. Okay, so now that we're in the DC realm, let's talk about the other controversial.
There's no
topic.
controversy. People are
There
just
isn't,
petty.
but again,
People are just petty.
fanboys are petty. Why can't we just like? So, a little teaser dropped at the what is it? The AFC
It was the
Championship.
AFC Championship game,
Yeah.
which the most watched AFC Championship game ever.
Yeah.
So everybody was like,
And the most
"I'm not gonna-"
disappointing.
Yeah. For everybody who's like, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah, you are.
Oh yeah,
You
Don't
are.
lie. You're
Yeah.
going to a party.
Whether you
you're-
hate watch
yeah,
it
you're
or
gonna
not,
bet
you're
on
gonna
it.
watch it.
you're
So
gonna
shut
watch
up.
it. But they aired a little teaser for the next Superman movie. Okay.
It looks so good.
And it looks, I'm not as pumped as you are, but it looks better than I thought it was. And it's probably going to be an amazing film. I trust James Gunn. He does great work. He understands and respects the products. So, or at least the IP, he respects it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I think it's going to be in great hands. I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table. I am excited to see. I'm just
I-
not so pumped.
Oh, I think this is going to be the DC Renaissance. I really think it is. I'm all in on Superman.
They
It's
have-
probably my most hype movie for 2025.
Superman, Supergirl,
Mhm.
Lanterns
Yep.
are all in development. I think Supergirl's filming right now,
Supergirl's
isn't
filming.
it?
Yep.
So that's all in development right now. I'm pumped. And the person that they got is the one that played in House of the Dragon to play Supergirl. Perfect pick.
Ah, yeah.
She's going to be amazing. So I'm in. There's one shot of,
It's
one
literally
shot.
it's like 2 seconds.
It's not even.
He
It's
looks-
like less than a second.
His face looks like one of those pet rocks with the googly eyes as he's flying.
So
Is it
as
that
he's
one?
flying, everyone's on the internet. They're like, "Oh, it looks like his face is CG. I'm sure you have enough time to clean it up, James Gunn." So he responded. He was like, "There's no CG in this shot. Well, of him.
Mhm.
There's, that is
His eyes are big.
it's
They're
a
big.
sped up
It looks
shot.
weird.
It
doesn't look weird.
I'm looking at
Like,
the photo right
look,
now.
It looks
Okay,
weird.
there's a little movement in his hair, but
Yeah.
look, if you're the Man of Steel, think of it.
He's flying.
Listen.
there should be movement.
Hold on. If you are the Man of Steel, you can literally break continents in half at your most powerful. You shoot laser beams out of your eyes. Bullets pop off of you. If you're flying super fast, you're not going to see a lot of face movement.
Do you want to
You're
see?
a god on
Oh
earth.
my god, that would be kind of funny though.
Yeah, you're a god on earth. You're not, you're a god on earth. There's not. But anyways, my point is that the shot of his face looks fine.
He looks fine.
I don't understand why people are losing their shit over this.
And you know what I got to say?
What?
They made Lex Luthor look sick. They made him look dope as hell. He looked-
I'm just not a Superman guy. I'm
look,
not.
I'm not the biggest Superman guy
He's like
either.
on my tiers list of superheroes. He's not even close. To
I'm not the biggest Superman fan either. But when it comes to comic book movies, Superman has to be great. He is the father of comic books.
And I love Henry Cavill's version of
I do
Superman.
too. He was great.
I thought it was great. I'm with Eddie, and like Superman's not my favorite because I always tended to read Marvel books, like specifically X-Men books, because they were more relatable. Their central themes is more relatable to just human beings. And like, there's more downtime of like them just being normal people. Whereas you're dealing with literal gods and like a crazy rich guy.
Yeah.
When it comes like crazy, like in his head, rich guy, when it comes to like the DC universe side of things. So it's hard to connect with their stories because they're like literal gods on earth.
I like Batman though. That's DC.
I love Batman. And
we all do. Everybody loves Batman.
Look, they've done some really cool with DC. Getting that relatability is one of the things that James Gunn says is the most central goal that he's trying to bring to the table here is people relating to a god on earth like Superman. And that's difficult. How does he become vulnerable? In what aspects? Like that matters to your character, right? When it comes to like making a product that people can connect to. So I'm confident he's going to do the best anyone could do with it. I'm just not as excited as Elliot, but I'm with you. Like,
I'm excited for crypto.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So that was, but see, those things are tight.
Yeah.
The fact that he's bringing in like crypto and like in the main first thing, he's all up on the ground and he whistles and crypto. He's like, oh,
and the fact
and
that
it just hurts track.
Well, it's awesome.
Like,
I like
that's
that.
great,
and the
dude.
fact that it's not like a lab, like you're thinking a lab or like a big dog. It's some scruffy dog.
That's
It's a scruffy dog.
It's a scruffy
That's
dog.
crypto.
Got a little Chelsea turd running around. Like, that's so fun.
All right. Now let's end on this. This is a rumor, another rumor mill. Rumor. So the rumor is that the Russo brothers has been tapped to oversee and possibly direct future X-Men movies to handle the reboot of the X-Men.
Okay, how you feel about that? You're a big X-Men stan.
I do, just like James Gunn, trust the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
I think they understand the IP. I think they're amazing directors. If you look at their history, they're batting pretty solid.
They do their homework.
This will be the second reboot, right? So the first one, and then they had the second one, and then which they kind of brought in the first one, and then
Yeah. So, but yes, you're right.
Yeah.
This would be the third, but this will be the proper MCU version, and they are tapped to take over Avengers, Doomsday, and
it's Doomsday now, right? They
It's Avengers.
totally got rid of what's his name completely. His whole character they were building up on.
Kang? Yeah.
It's the next
The
two.
King Dynasty was what it was going to be.
Yeah, it's the next two Avengers films. They're slated to take over. But my thing is like, okay, well, look at the timing. There's a timing proposition here that is a problem. When they bought the rights to the X-Men, it was 6 years ago.
It was a while back. Yeah.
6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kevin Feige came out and said, look, don't expect any kind of X-Men anything for,
For a while.
We haven't gotten anything. Really.
Well, yeah, he
we
said,
got 97.
Except 97, yeah.
said 5 years.
Okay.
And 97 was great.
But if you look at what they're doing with the next two big ass Avengers movies, and their slate of releases, that means that it takes at least 2 years to make one of these movies.
Yeah.
So the last Avengers movie is supposed to come out in 2027. So you're saying that we're not going to get an X-Men film from Marvel until 2029?
I would even say 2030 if I had
got
to
some
guess.
X-Men love in Deadpool and Wolverine, I guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that'll
dude,
tide you over, I guess. And also they did the
not for 5 years.
Well, and also
not for 5 years.
Well, and
alone.
also, and
X-Men 97 will be back next year.
I could be mistaken. The Miss Marvel show, right?
Yeah, they
Didn't
kind of
they say
retconned her a little bit.
They
made her a
sprinkled
mutant.
in a little mutant, little named Cayenne right there.
I missed that one. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, I hear that out of all the shows, I still haven't seen it. I hear out all the shows, that's actually one of the best Disney, like
Marvel.
Marvel.
Loki. It can't be better than Loki.
Loki's my favorite by far.
it can't be better.
Season 1 and season 2 was incredible.
You'd have Loki over like Daredevil or Punisher.
I thought Loki was exceptional.
Loki was exceptional.
I'm not saying it as like a bad thing because I
Yeah.
thought Daredevil's good.
The Netflix verse, I really liked Jessica Jones. I
did
really
too.
liked Daredevil season 1 and 2. I thought it was great.
I like season 1 of Luke Cage.
Yeah.
I thought Luke Cage was badass.
I think that they also kind of got a little high on their own supply on those shows a little bit at the end. They seem long for long's sake right? Just to be long.
I felt the problem with Luke Cage is that the villain in season 1 was really lame. And season
terrible.
and season 2 just didn't have the same gusto to it. But I liked
completely dropped off.
I liked a lot of what season 1 and even parts of season 2 did. I need more Punisher. I need more John Bernthal Punisher.
He's a great Punisher, isn't he?
He's fantastic.
Him and Thomas Jane are my two.
Thomas Jane.
So here's the deal. I don't know if that's accurate. I think that if anything, they'll oversee the development. I feel like we're getting X-Men movie proper way sooner than like the end of this decade.
You think they're hiding it?
I think they already had their casting done. I think they have their casting done. The rumors coming out about
they may pepper them into the movies and shows from the MCU. Anyways,
what's her name from The Bear? Hold on, let me pull this up.
Io.
Adebari. Adebari.
Yeah.
There's rumors that she's going to be Storm.
Okay.
Which I don't know.
I think she's a fantastic actress. I could see her being like a better Jubilee than I see her being a better Storm.
Well, whatever they do with the casting is going to matter big time, right?
Yes.
But I feel like they will not wait a decade after buying the X-Men to get one proper X-Men movie out that's like a full-on X-Men movie. That would be in my opinion, the dumbest thing they could. I think it's stupid that they're slow rolling it to the point that they are.
Well, they have Fantastic Four coming too.
Speaking of rumor mills, did you see the rumor mill that Doomsday might bring in Ghost Rider for a serious role?
See, that would
Nicolas
be sick.
Cage.
It better be Keanu Reeves. It better be Keanu Reeves.
And you guys, we kind of talked about him last week, but from what I hear, the rumors say, because he's mentioned how he'd want to play this character before in the MCU, might be the Goss Man.
Jeez, he's just coming up everywhere.
He's coming up everywhere.
All things Gosling, man.
Yeah.
Look, he's a great actor.
No, he's good. Yeah.
I'd be totally down with him for being Johnny Blaze.
Well,
not Nicolas Cage.
Well, I mean, I would love to see
I would like to see him make a
He was Ghost Rider, right?
No, he was. He's my Ghost Rider.
He's my Ghost Rider.
Hey, this ain't no
Thomas
Nick Cage.
Jane is my Punisher, and Nick Cage is my Ghost Rider, and Ben Affleck will always be my Daredevil.
No, we got.
No, you can let that one go.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's all our nerd news.
He wasn't the problem with Daredevil, okay? There was just a lot of problems with Daredevil, all right?
Bullseye was a problem. That's during
Colin Farrell, baby.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell will always be my Bullseye.
And then he was the pig with it totally made up for himself.
Yeah. So look, there's our nerd news coming up. We're gonna take a real quick break. Give a shout out to Grogg's traditional Irish
Shout
pub.
out Groggs.
You would think that I was drinking, but Elliot's over there drinking a Guinness.
He's drinking for all three of us.
He's drinking for all three of us at the northeast corner of Willow and Knees. Come by, say hi to people at Groggs. Go get a pint and say that the do-over sent you.
Yeah.
Now stay here. Sports coming up next.
Sports.
A big, huge thanks to Grogg's Traditional Irish Pub for sponsoring the Do-Over podcast and the first ever episode of Taps and Takes. All that nerd news, all that sports news. Go say thanks to Grogg's at the northeast corner of Willow and Knees. Go buy a beer and tell them that the Do-Over sent you.
All right, guys. Is this a safe space?
Safe space. We listen and we don't judge.
Aren't all pubs safe spaces?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. This is a pubcast,
Just
baby.
Between us girls.
Uh-huh.
Between us girls. Don't tell Royce I gave myself a little refill. Just don't tell him.
I didn't even see you. That was sly.
Is this going back to when we were talking about him having a drinking problem last week?
It's not a problem. 4 Guinnesses in a podcast is not a problem.
At 10 a.m.
In an hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
That's one every 15 minutes.
Like,
in their
look,
call.
Yeah, it's record time.
Here's the cool
That's
thing
what
about
it is.
doing this pubcast is that we do it prior to them opening.
Yeah.
So we are not taking the space of their beautiful patrons.
He's just testing for poison.
Yeah,
exactly.
Making sure there's no poison in it. But
You're welcome.
come on down to Grogg's Traditional Irish Pub, northeast corner of Willow and Knees. Tell him that the do-over sent you. And thank Royce personally for allowing Elliot to drink at 10 a.m.
Shake his hand.
Shake his hand and allowing us to do all the nerd news. And now sports news. Now, Elliot, we're going to get right into it. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah. We are ready.
Here we go.
Air drums incoming.
Shot in the dark, picking 10 games. Yeah, this parlay ended badly. Yeah, I was bad last week.
That was not too bad.
You did great.
I did good.
I did not.
Nope.
And Drew did kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
50-50.
I was really
You're 50-50.
everyone wanted the Bills to win. I wanted the Bills to win. It was a hell of a game.
It was a great game.
That's this
an
game,
all-timer, maybe.
That game was probably going to be better.
Every time those two teams play, it's been great for the last.
Yeah, it's fireworks.
4 or 5
I think that game is going to be better than the actual Super Bowls.
I think we'll get into this more next week, but I think it's going to be a close game.
I do too. I mean, last
and
time
a low-scoring game.
Last time the Eagles played the Chiefs, it went down to the last possession.
Yeah,
It really did. So, and that's just who the Chiefs are now.
This is a better Eagles team than last time too.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it.
I know.
I'm not doing
Wouldn't
it.
it be some if they want? But
I'm not touching the spread on this one.
We'll get into it next week, but we still got to do Shot in the Dark. And if you're unaware from like our old gig at the previous radio station, what we do is pick 10 bets, $1 per person, $30 total, all parlayed.
Yeah.
In years past, we would have netted $15,000, $17,000, $19,000. And we definitely don't sports bet in the state of California.
How could we?
Nah.
There's no
How
way
could we nor would we?
Elliot, it's illegal.
We would never do
How
that.
can we even do that? We can't.
Never would.
We can't.
Not me.
However, I mean, if you have the way to do it, we try to get all this money to go to Legoland.
True dad,
Because
dog.
we're going.
Yeah.
God
One
damn
of
it.
you-
We're
one of you-
going.
Of all
We're fucking
places.
going.
Should we make that our goal for 2025 to actually get into Legoland?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if we hit one of these parlays and we actually get like 20 G's of theoretical money because we don't bet,
We plan a Legoland trip.
we are literally going. We
Yeah.
have to.
We have
Yeah.
to. We owe it.
We have to.
We don't owe it to the people. We owe it to ourselves.
Damn straight. Now, this is where you guys shine because, I'm a filthy casual when it comes to the sporting. But you two, you're some diehards. Rantsnetwork.com.
Yeah.
Give you all your sports updating needs and entertainment needs as well.
Yeah, a new blog dropping today.
A new sports blog
yeah,
from
new
all things
sports
Elliot.
blog.
I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
I like it. So if you guys are the experts, lead me into hitting this parlay. What bets do you got?
Eddie, you want to start things off, or do you want me to?
I'm only propping it like it's hot today.
Okay, fair enough. So, look, we all knew this was going to happen. Rantsnetwork.com. You can check out our bold predictions for the championship games. Who was the one that said a rematch was on the way? A sequel was coming?
You were right.
This guy.
You were right.
Now,
he proved it
Now,
too.
I was
But were
literally
you right on the other game?
I
though?
was literally wrong about everything else.
Okay. I was going to say.
Yeah.
I did get the teams right. So a win is a win. A win is a win. So with that being said, these teams have played each other before. You're going to be an idiot if you bet against the Chiefs at this point. You're going to be an
Not
idiot.
this time.
You're going to be an idiot. Look, I'm taking the Chiefs -1.5, -1.5. It's going to be a field goal game again because here's what's going to happen. Eagles are going to take the lead. They're going to go up 2. The Chiefs are going to run down the field, score again. Then the Eagles are going to have to make a play, and Jalen's arm isn't going to be able to make it, just like last time. Chiefs are probably going to win by 4
Well,
or
you forgot
5.
one thing in there. A major penalty will happen against the Eagles for the Chiefs in order for them to win.
Maybe so. And
Which does
probably-
seem like kind of a
Maybe so.
a trend.
Yeah. just
Maybe-
a little.
Maybe so, and probably will. But at the end of the day, you got to go with who's the better quarterback? Patrick Mahomes. Who's the better coach? Andy Reid. I trust
Who's
them
the
more.
better running back?
Okay. I mean,
Who has the better defense?
you tell me. I mean, the
The
Chiefs,
Eagles have the best
Spags-
defense in the NFL.
Spags knows how to dial up great plays when
It's
he
true.
needs to.
It's true.
So,
And he stopped the tush push with Josh Allen.
he did. Granted, the Bills might be the most pathetic tush pushers ever.
Dude, that
That
play, I'm like, why wouldn't you just roll off and do a small throw?
Well,
like
not
just a
even-
little
Because it worked
toss
for them so well
Not
all
e-
season.
And look, we'll cover Bills, Chiefs here in a second. But at the end of the day, you just got to go. In order to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. Chiefs -1.5. That feels right. And I know you don't agree with it, but if there's one thing I learned about both of these teams, when they need to score points, they can score a damn lot of them. 49.5, it seems high. I just feel like this game's going to be a 32-29, a 32-27 game. Give me the over.
We're just on the back end of one of those, man. I
Yeah.
feel like these two teams are going to be, I think it's going to be low. I think
the Chiefs have not scored 30 points.
Until they needed to. And I think the Eagles are good enough to make them need to. I think this is going to be 33-28.
They're
5-point win for the
what
Chiefs.
they've been doing Eddie, and like there's a couple trends that I've noticed watching, again, casually, self-admittedly, casually, watching the Chiefs play here and there, is that they win by 3 points or less.
Yeah.
And then so they're approaching this like a very thought out tactician kind of a way. And there's also the calls that a lot of these are a little shaky and dicey that you're like, man, and it seems to be kind of a trend. Now, I'm not the conspiratorial dude. I'm not like tinfoil hat.
I don't think it's like that at all.
But it is good for the league when Taylor Swift started going to the games. And it's, they have the skill to do it. But also, it's like that happened, that's blowing up, and then they win the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying they didn't earn it, but I'm saying, is there like a light nudge or directive, you think? Be real.
I think that, I think that Andy Reid is one of the best coaches ever in the history.
I think he might be the best coach ever.
Even over Belichick.
If he wins this Super Bowl.
And his teams have always been disciplined all the way going back to his Eagles days. So I just think it looks like the way it is because the Chiefs aren't doing a lot of penalties.
Right.
So it looks like the other team is getting calls against them because they're more disciplined.
Well, and also Patrick Mahomes you can say what you want about him. He knows how to manipulate the rules in his favor.
A little bit.
He knows when he's scrambling. He doesn't do it often, but when he steps
out of bounds just at the right time.
He waits for when he knows contact's going to happen to take that step out of bounds. So when it is, it's technically within the rules. He knows these rules. He knows how to use them in his favor. Because exactly. And so
also Taylor Swift, literally after they won, she was wearing some Louis Vuitton. She crashed their website for people trying to buy her whole outfit from Louis Vuitton.
See that.
And then when it came back up, it sold out within seconds.
And that's crazy. Well, but that is
$1,000 gloves.
There's a lot of people now that
who has that money right now.
There's a lot of people. Well, they don't, but that's the point. There's a lot of people now that are watching these games and interested in the NFL just because of that.
Yeah.
And that's good for them. So I'm not saying that it's definitely for sure, but I'm saying like there's some stake on it. So what's your next bet?
My next bet is the only bet that hit for me last week. It was one of my kicking props. It was Harrison Butker, 1.5 field goals. He was the only one to do it.
Were you mad that the Eagles just kept scoring touchdowns?
I wish you could see how
and your
angry
Jake Elliott kicker didn't even kick a field goal. Not even one.
No, he got one.
Oh, he did get one. Okay.
And that was the worst thing. The worst thing is that he got one at the end of the game, and it was like the problem with these kind of bets is like when you get one, all you're thinking about is getting the next one, and when you get in the fourth quarter. Mid fourth quarter, like I'm not getting it, but there's enough time to where you're like. But maybe you do.
Maybe, just maybe.
And also, Austin Eckler and the whole Commanders team pooed the bed, other than the kicker I should have gone with, Zane Gonzalez. That's besides the point. So, Harrison Butker, he came through for me last week. He's going to get at least 2 field goals in the Super Bowl. I'm picking him.
The Super Bowl.
Super Bowls. Big Bowls coming up. And then the one Eagle that has been just incredibly consistent, it's Saquon Barkley.
Oh, God. Fool's crushing life.
He is. The Giants must be rolling over in pain every morning, thinking they let him go to a division rival, and now he's one game away.
They also have to have the team around it to allow him to succeed.
Also true. Yeah, their offensive line is trash.
But that's what I mean. Like they've had one of the best running backs in the league for years and did nothing with him.
Well, when I played him in fantasy, he was not performing like for the last couple of years, but all of a sudden he just went wild.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy what an offensive line can do.
Right.
And a competent franchise. But he's been scoring touchdowns left and right. Anytime score, I'm taking that. I'm even flirting with 2-time scorer in the big game.
The ladder.
I'm flirting with
that would up our bets. That we definitely don't do in the state of California.
I'm flirting with it.
Okay.
But anytime score.
Is that just 3? Did you do
that was 4? That was 4. Chiefs over 8, Saquon. 1.5 field goals.
I really like the under and like that. Like I'm not touching the spread, but the under, all my research, like I'm really high on that. But we're taking the over because that's what you wanted. I'm not touching it.
If we lose this, it's all your fault. And we will remind you that we're
really
not
like the under on
in
this.
Legoland
Look,
buying Legos because of you.
If we go 9-1 and the one loss is the over, I'll
Full expense paid trip to Legoland on Elliot.
Not doing that. Not doing that. Not doing that.
Alcohol included.
I'll buy you
Booze included.
I'll buy you both a Lego set.
Cheap little
I
5-year-old
get
one.
No, I get to pick it
Oh.
because those are like $200 bucks.
no,
dude.
eBay the Death Star.
Right. All right, what you got?
All right. Well, you guys ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
Do you have
All
it?
props this week. Low Litz.
Oh. Take it, Elliot.
Well, hang on. When's the drop? Because the drop's coming.
It's coming up.
Okay,
It's coming
hang
up
on.
in a
You gotta
second.
wait for it.
Here we go.
When Eddie goes 3-1, he profits like it's high. Profit like it's high. Profit like it's high. When the big game's coming up, he profit like it's high. Profit like it's high. Profit like it's high. When he's trying to win that guap, he
Profit like it's high. Profit like it's high. Profit like it's high.
When we trying to get our way to Legoland, we gotta go to our number one man.
Oh, that was good.
White guy rapping, give me air
Man,
horns.
That
gotta cool
Guinness
him up. I gotta
that
cool him
Guinness
up.
is
He's hot.
fueling
Give me
you,
some
bro.
Fire bars
That
over
is-
here.
Give me some air horns.
Fueling you. Oh, wait.
White guy bars.
All right, what you got? What you got?
Xavier Worthy, receiver
worthy?
for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a receiver, but check this out. Over 4.5 rushing yards. Hear me out.
4.5.
Rushing yards.
You're feeling a frisky jet
Last week,
sweep,
he had
huh?
2 carries for 16 yards.
Okay.
Okay. He has hit over 4 yards rushing in 4 of the last 6 games.
Oh,
What is the strength of the defense of the Eagles? The middle.
rush. Oh,
The
no,
rush.
you go.
The
You
middle.
go.
The defense middle. The rush. Stopping the rush, forcing the quarterback to make mistakes. That's what they did with Daniels. That's what they did all the second half of the season. Little jet sweep action. Last couple Super Bowls, the receivers were getting involved in the running game. We saw it with Mecole Hardman a few years ago. We saw it last year. Worthy's going to get at least 1 carry, and all he has to do is go 4.5 yards. Easy money.
So
Okay,
we
take
just
it.
need 5 yards.
Put it on the books. 5 yards. That's all we need.
It's definitely not like we needed Patrick Mahomes to have 17 and a half rushing yards, and then he decided to run 20 yards backwards
To
and
stop the
ruin
clock.
everything. that
Ruin
happened.
everything.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
God forbid that happen.
Speaking of Patrick Mahomes rushing,
God.
over 6.5 rushing attempts. What I just say about the Eagles, what do? They stop the run. They force the quarterback to make mistakes. They get in the quarterback's face. They have one of the best pass rushes in the league. So Mahomes is going to be outside the pocket. No one's open because they also have really good pass defense. He's going to
have to run. He's going to have to run.
And he has a career 6% scramble rate in the regular season, but 8.1 in the postseason. In the postseason, he starts to scramble more, get outside the pocket. This season in the playoffs, 15.2% scramble rate. And he's top 6.5 rushing attempts in both games so far.
And he's also
this season.
just one of the best scrambling quarterbacks when he needs to be.
Correct.
He has got such a way, and this is all a part of Andy Reid's plan because he is so good with implementing Patrick Mahomes' legs when he needs to and when nobody's expecting it. The Bills got cooked because of it.
Pacheco's still playing a little hurt. He hasn't been the same since he's come back from injury. And Kareem Hunt, I mean, how much does he have left? So I'm like that one. And we're going to the Eagles side. Same player, 2 props.
Okay. Love it.
Jalen Hurts, under 1.5 touchdown passes. Under 1.5 touchdown passes.
Passes.
He likes the Barkley anytime touchdown. Now, I don't think he's thrown over 2 touchdowns this entire season.
Now,
That's
when you
pretty
say
bonkers.
that, just to clarify for maybe the people that don't know, because I definitely do know. I know, but maybe they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Is it throwing a pass into the end zone and catching? Or
Correct.
is it a receiver catching the pass and running it?
Either
into
way.
the touch?
They both
Either way.
count.
They
Those-
both
those-
count.
Both
Yeah.
count.
Okay.
So anytime he throws the ball and someone scores,
It counts.
That counts.
Touchdown pass. Okay.
In 18 games this season, he's only thrown multiple TDs in 7 of them and has never thrown more than 2.
Really?
He is, yeah. The Chiefs have allowed only 24 passing touchdowns all season and only 2 in both playoff games combined.
And the strength of the Eagles is their run game.
the tush push, the run game,
the run
Barkley.
game. NFC Championship game had 7 rushing touchdowns from the Eagles alone. That's the most in
Barkley
history.
had 3 of them. You know who had 3? You know who also had 3? Jalen Hurts. Give me an anytime rushing touchdown from Jalen Hurts as well.
I like it.
He's not going to throw it in the end zone. He's going to run it, baby, because in 12 of the last 18 games, he has had a rushing touchdown.
Love it
on the board.
Absolutely love it.
Prop it like it's hot. And next week, we're going to have the fun ones.
The fun ones.
Gatorade color.
Next week.
Heads or tails.
Yeah. Those are the good ones.
By the way, I have full stats on heads and tails. Full stats.
Do you want to save yours for next week?
Yeah,
okay.
save it for
so we
next
got
week.
8 this week.
We got 8 this week.
We'll fill out the rest next week.
And then what we'll do is right here, we're going to get the number. We'll say how much theoretical money we're definitely not going to win because we don't sports bet in the state of California at all, ever. Right here. This much money if we hit it. Okay. All right. Now, anyways.
Going to Legoland.
We got about 5-10 more minutes. Let's go into sports news real quick so we can get out of this fine pub establishment to allow these people to do their amazing job and serve the liquors and the beers.
Why would we want to leave if they're just now going to start opening?
Because I don't want to get in the way of people trying to live a life, man.
They could join it. Live interviews.
You just join the life. That's all.
Ask them what they think of the game. Who's going to win, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
On the street.
Live from Grogg.
Royce, who's going to win?
Chiefs 1.5.
Royce knows the script. Royce has a copy of the script.
What? Who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be really close. It's going to come down to one score.
Maybe whoever has the ball.
I think whoever has the ball last is going to win the game. I really do.
The Chiefs are going to.
It's going to be low scoring and really intense and a lot of rushing, which runs the clock down a lot.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's going to be a low scoring game. There's not as many opportunities to score points.
Jesus. Okay. Real quick, what we got?
We took the over.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. All right.
What's up with? There's some mix-ups, right? That's going on right now in sports news.
Yeah, there's some serious coaching. Shout out
Eddie for calling that because that literally went the new coach
Aaron Glenn
of the Bears.
The Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Jets. That happened right after
5
we
minutes.
finished recording our first taps and takes. It literally was on the TV.
Great hire, and his interview and everything when he got hired was great. His energy, perfect hire, unlike the Jacksonville Jaguars hire.
Why don't you start with that one? Why don't you start with that?
The I can't even laugh because I can't wait to show this. The Jacksonville Jaguars hired Liam Cohen, who was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, they hired him at first, and he said no, he's going back. He don't want to take the job, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars fired their GM, and then he came back. So apparently there was something between them, and they hired him. And his name is Liam Cohen. He did wonders for Baker's career, turning around his career and the offense.
Totally revamped his career.
Right, but that offense had 2 Pro Bowl caliber receivers,
a Hall of Fame wide receiver,
2 great running backs this last year, and now he's going to the Jaguars. And he is the goofiest, weirdest guy. In his interview, he was like, Duval. I'm going to send our producer the clip, and he's going to play it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cringe.
Duval.
If you ever were unsure of a team, you watch that, you know that team's a 3-win team.
There was a Mad TV skit where the guy was a giant baby. And the way he talked, it's just like that.
No way.
No, there's not a lot
cringe.
You're gonna watch it and you're gonna be like, "There's not a lot of confidence."
I think it's a terrible hire. I think it's gonna go down in history as one of the worst head coaching hires history. And I mean the Jaguars, just send them to England. Let them be
make them
make them the London
England,
team.
The London
no
team?
one goes to the games in Jacksonville. The stadium's crappy.
That would be sick to have a London team that's actually in the league.
Don't give the NFL
the team of London
ideas, man.
They get cool. Every year they play twice in London.
But I'm saying it would be cool if London had one American football team.
Trust me, Roger
Jaguars.
Goodell. would love to have
the rep. But I'm saying sanctioned, legit.
Correct, yeah. Send them to London.
Send them to London.
Yeah.
I'm for that. Okay, what else?
All right. Well, the Jaguars weren't the only one to introduce their new head coach. The Dallas Cowboys decided to introduce their newest head coach. They hired Brian Schottenheimer, and a lot, from what I've seen, a lot of Cowboy fans and just a lot of sports experts not stoked on this hire at all. This feels like another Jerry Jones puppet.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, owner, general manager,
Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, and now this. It's like he never goes outside of his own
He doesn't want anybody being bigger than Jerry Jones. That's why Deion Sanders, even though there was rumors he might get the job,
Right.
it was never a real.
Do you think he could really compete in that level as a coach?
Mike McCarthy had won a Super Bowl, gotten the Cowboys 3-12
I'm talking about Deion
seasons.
Sanders.
Oh, absolutely.
You think?
Deion Sanders just one of those natural born winners.
He's a natural born leader.
Well, that too. But I mean, when it comes to anything, when it comes to big images, big publicity,
he's great for that. Yeah.
Yeah, he is good
But
for that. I like the way he carries himself.
Yeah, but
Deion
Jerry
Sanders.
Jones never wants anybody bigger than Jerry Jones. And that's the reason why Cowboy fans haven't seen an NFC championship game in 29 years.
Now, this is crazy, but this is true. And you can look it up. It's out there. In his interviews, he doesn't know what a glory hole is. But he uses the term in his interviews. He's like, he just did it the other day again. He's done this multiple times.
What?
He's like, it's because he was getting backlash in an interview. He's like, it's all about the glory holes.
What?
I don't know.
It's not,
my God.
He doesn't want just a glory hole anymore, you know? And speaking of that, they got their newest defensive coordinator as well, ex-Bears coach Matt Eberflus. So, I mean, they're really, the Cowboys.
Man.
Cowboy fans, I do and don't feel sorry for you at the same time because you do it to yourselves.
Yeah.
But also,
Slowick is just there too. Like, this is crazy.
But, and then we got a little bit of Super Bowl news, you know?
Super Bowl.
And this is why I think the Chiefs are going to win again. Chiefs, Eagles got their jersey colors picked. Eagles going with their Philly greens, you know, Chiefs getting the white. The team that's worn the white have dominated the big game for the last handful of years. And I think have won a crazy number of the last 20.
Well, the Chiefs have won in both colors.
Yeah. But I think the team that's worn white, has
and
won.
red.
They won one in red and one in white last year.
The team that has worn white have a crazy win rate compared to home jerseys. So it just feels like another.
You think that the lack of color makes them lighter and they could run faster?
Maybe so. I don't know.
I think everyone's assuming that the Chiefs are. We'll talk about this more
But
next
I
week.
also know that history repeats itself. And
The
it just
team
feels,
wearing white is normally the team with the best record, the better record.
Okay.
That would make sense why the team with white is the better
but
team.
I think everyone is
That's besides
assuming.
the point.
Everyone's assuming.
That's besides the point.
Everyone is assuming that the Chiefs are going to win this game, and that's why I feel like it's not going to be the Chiefs. But, anyways,
I have a couple of back things to say about those two last.
couple
things.
of back shots.
Back shots.
Couple of
Mike
back shots you
McCarthy,
wanna
who
get
was
into?
Mike
McCarthy, who was the coach that the Cowboys finally let go after years of disappointment. He came out yesterday, and so a couple days ago, when by the time you're watching or listening to this, he is taking the year off. He is the Saints were kind of interested in hiring him. He just said, you know what, I'm not dealing with this team right now.
I would not want to be in that dumpster fire.
I think he ends up in the college ranks, similar to what Belichick did last year. I think a college team or two maybe have already been in his head, and that's why he backed out. So more on that later, but yeah, so no Mike McCarthy this year for the first time in forever, right?
Yeah,
Being a head
it's
coach
been a
in the
long
NFL.
time. I mean, he's a good head coach, but he's not high caliber head coach.
And if the Kansas City Chiefs were to win, how many times in a row would that be?
Be not one, not two, but three.
Never been done in the history of the
Ever.
NFL. Ever.
Ever.
Well, Packer fan, technically, in the 60s, the Packers won the NFC or the NFL championship, and then the big game became a thing and won 2 in a row. So technically,
those Green Bay Packers.
they actually had 3 in a row. They three-peated, but it doesn't count because 2 of them were the big game, and the one before that was the NFL championship against the Browns, mind you.
I do like that he even knows that, and that's a technically that he's dropping on the table. Still doesn't count.
However, it's never happened in the history. It's never happened in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
But it could get interesting because in the NBA, it happens all the time. And when you win 3 in a row, it's called a three-peat,
Right.
which happens in the NBA all the time. Well, guess who owns the trademark for three-peats?
It's trademarked?
Pat Riley.
Shut the
Heat,
up.
the old Heat coach owns, and he
No
is looking
way.
at a payday right
Yeah.
now at merch sales.
Big time.
And everything.
You've never seen a bigger Chiefs fan than Pat Riley this
from
year.
back in the day has the trademark
And
of
he had
the three-peat.
the foresight to
He
actually
He did it
get it.
after the Bulls had done it, after the Lakers had, after
all that,
after in hockey, it's been done a lot.
Mhm.
And then he just was the one that got a trademark. Pat Riley.
well,
Payday
Smart.
for Pat.
He's a genius.
there you go. Drink the rest of that Guinness, Elliot. Come on, right there on
chug.
Hell yeah! Thanks to Grogg's Traditional Irish Pub, the
Thanks, Grogg.
northeast corner of Willow Knees. Come and get a pint, glass of Guinness. Go get some JMO. Do it.
Split the G's.
Split those G's. Tell them that the Do-Over sent you. Enjoy the nerd news. Enjoy the sports news. And we'll see you on Wednesday at 8 a.m. with episode 5 of the Do-Over podcast. Until then, gotta go. Love you. Bye.